The opening scene unfolds during the final round of a junior high school Scrabble competition. Lynn, a young contestant, is pitted against Sorawis, a student from a rival school. In the audience, Lynn's father, Vit, and the prestigious school's principal observe the match. The principal makes a promise to grant Lynn a full scholarship if she emerges victorious. However, Sorawis, struggling in the last round, resorts to a deceitful tactic. He pretends to drop an eraser, which his mentor retrieves for him. Lynn astutely notices that the mentor has exchanged the eraser with another bearing the answers. She silently confronts Sorawis about his cheating, but refrains from informing the judges. As her final word, Lynn spells out "cheater" and clinches the victory, earning cheers and certificates of honor from the crowd. Later that evening, during dinner, Lynn converses with her father, Vit, about her new school. Lynn enthusiastically describes the school's amenities, including computers, air-conditioned rooms, and a library. She also mentions her fondness for the music room with a grand piano where she can play during lunch. Vit inquires about her friendships, prompting Lynn to awkwardly affirm that she has made friends. One day, while practicing the piano at school, Lynn is approached by a classmate named Grace. Grace seeks Lynn's help to practice a song for the school play. As they collaborate, they notice Grace singing off-key on certain parts. Grace expresses her disappointment and discloses her dream of being in the play. Lynn encourages her to pay close attention to the keys and offers her guidance. After some practice, Grace masters the keys and is elated. Before parting ways, Grace invites Lynn to meet after her audition for the play. Grace's audition goes well, but she emerges with tears in her eyes. It is revealed that, due to a new rule, students desiring roles in the school play must maintain a GPA above 3.25. Grace laments that she has never achieved such a high GPA. Lynn offers to tutor her, commencing several days of collaborative study in the school library. They discover that their math teacher, Sofan, tutors students privately outside school. Grace shares a challenging sample question paper provided by Sofan, which Lynn notices is more difficult than the classroom questions but decides to practice them. During the midterm math exam a few weeks later, Lynn initially answers all the questions with ease. However, she recognizes that most of the questions are identical to those from Grace's practice. Lynn concludes that Sofan has been supplying test questions to students who engage in private coaching. She cleverly records the answers on an eraser, conceals it in her shoe, and discreetly kicks it to Grace's desk. Grace retrieves the answers and copies them down. When the results are published, Grace rejoices in achieving her highest marks. Suspicion lingers as Lynn and Grace obtain the same scores, and Sofan warns them to be cautious, promising to take a stern stance if he detects any cheating. In the evening, Grace invites Lynn to dinner at her boyfriend Pat's opulent residence. They dine at an upscale restaurant, courtesy of Pat. Pat, a wealthy but academically underperforming student, requests Lynn's assistance in his exams, offering a substantial sum of money. His father has promised to buy him a sports car if he avoids failure. Lynn declines, fearing the risks of getting caught. Returning home, Lynn finds her father, Vit, having noodles for dinner. She expresses concern about his dietary habits and later overhears him on the phone, discussing a loan. Lynn confronts him about the loan, and Vit reveals that he borrowed money from his brother to cover Lynn's tuition. Despite a promise of a full scholarship from the principal, it is revealed that Lynn and a fellow student must share the scholarship due to budget constraints, leaving them responsible for half of the fee each semester. Understanding her father's financial constraints, Lynn suggests transferring back to her previous school, but Vit insists that her current school offers greater opportunities. To secure a full scholarship, Lynn must now compete against her fellow student. The next day at school, Lynn encounters a small child attempting to reach a balloon lodged on the ceiling. Unable to reach it, she receives assistance from a student named Bank, which amuses the child. Afterward, Lynn introduces herself and discovers that Bank is the student she is sharing her scholarship with. She asks if they can still be friends, but Bank rejects her, emphasizing that they are competitors. In a subsequent scene, Lynn finds herself at Pat's apartment building, agreeing to help him and Grace cheat in their final exam to pay her father's loan and cover her tuition. She sets a condition that only 3/4 of the answers will be provided, ensuring the teacher won't become suspicious. Pat accepts the deal. The following scene presents their final exam for the first semester. Lynn must assist both Grace and Pat while completing her own test. Initially, she begins writing on an eraser, but discontinues when Sophon approaches. Throughout the exam, Sophon closely monitors Lynn and eventually notices her writing on the eraser. He confiscates it and discovers a message on it, revealing that he is slipping exam papers to students. Lynn bravely hands over her answer sheet to him and leaves the classroom. Sophon is astonished and tries to reason with Lynn, but she remains resolute. She reveals she has been in contact with the principal throughout their conversation. A disconcerted Sophon retreats to the classroom. As the students leave, Lynn's actions have shaken the status quo. Grace and Pitt express their gratitude to Lynn as their carefully planned scheme unfolds smoothly. Their prior preparation was orchestrated meticulously. Utilizing Sophon's tuition papers, Lynn is able to swiftly complete her own exam within minutes. Additionally, she marks the answers on her question paper, intending to have Grace exchange it with hers when she distracts Sophon. Subsequently, Grace inscribes the answers on an eraser and hands it over to Pitt. All three of them perform exceptionally well in the exam. Lynn further takes a cunning step by renaming Pitt as the principal in her phone, aiming to intimidate Sophon without jeopardizing his position. However, during the night, Lynn receives multiple messages in a group chat indicating that Sophon has been dismissed from the school. Concerned by this revelation, Lynn rushes to Pitt's apartment and inquires about how the principal became aware. Pitt discloses that he recorded their conversation and forwarded it to the principal, fearing that Sophon might cause future complications. Lynn is displeased with this course of action but ultimately dismisses the matter. The subsequent day at school, Lynn encounters the same child and discovers that he is Sophon's son, who has been expelled from the school due to his father's actions. Filled with guilt, Lynn observes them leaving in an elevator. In the following scene, the narrative shifts to Bank's laundry shop. Bank resides with his single mother, who is preoccupied with purchasing lottery tickets. The family's financial constraints prevent them from seeking medical treatment for her severe back problems. Later at school, both Bank and Lynn are summoned by the principal to participate in a TV quiz competition. Initially reluctant to partner with each other, the principal convinces them by declaring that the competition will determine the recipient of the next term's scholarship between them. Whoever answers more questions correctly will be awarded the scholarship. On the set of the reality show the following day, the quiz commences. Bank answers the first question correctly, followed by Lynn. They establish a lead of 2 points but falter when Bank hastily provides an incorrect response. Lynn recommends that they deliberate and discuss answers rather than offering hasty, random responses. With their cooperation, they secure the victory on the final question, ensuring Lynn's full scholarship. In the principal's office, Lynn is informed of her scholarship win, while Bank is encouraged to reapply for a scholarship in the next semester. After the meeting, Lynn attempts to console Bank, but he rebuffs her. In a subsequent scene, Bank accompanies his mother to a government hospital, where they endure a lengthy wait for her treatment. Bank informs her that he did not secure the scholarship. Despite her disappointment, his mother reassures him and promises to arrange the required funds before the next semester. One day at school, Pitt invites Lynn to the computer lab and questions whether she will continue to aid him in cheating, now that her tuition expenses are covered. He mocks her when she states that she no longer requires his money. Pitt asserts that the school still charges fees for extracurricular activities that Lynn might be unaware of. Although Lynn initially shows no reaction, she suspects that Pitt might be telling the truth. Upon returning home, she investigates her father's drawer and discovers that he has paid a total of 200,000 baht as a maintenance fee to the school. This realization dawns on her that a full scholarship is merely a publicity stunt for the school, which continues to generate income from its students. Lynn promptly contacts Pitt and inquires if there are others willing to pay her for assistance, similar to him. Pitt subsequently arranges a meeting with Lynn, Grace, and his affluent friends who require Lynn's services. Lynn proposes a deal where they each pay 30,000 baht to help them cheat for a semester. Payment would be made to Pitt, who would then transfer the money to Lynn to eliminate any evidence of payment. Due to the risk associated with passing answers on erasers to numerous individuals, Lynn devises an alternative strategy. She recalls a clock on the front wall of the exam room that is visible to everyone. The minute hand will signify the question number, while the second hand will represent the answer. Lynn explains that if the answer is A, she will raise her hand when the second hand reaches 1. For B, she will raise her hand at 2. With 60 questions in a 2-hour exam, Lynn plans to complete her paper in the first hour and help others during the second. The test proceeds according to their plan. However, Bank, seated beside Lynn, requests her to minimize her movements as they disturb his concentration. Inadvertently, he drops a piece of paper that the teacher sees and confiscates, believing it to be a cheat sheet. Upon inspection, it turns out to be a list of customer addresses from Bank's laundry. The teacher directs Bank to empty his pockets, but a fatigued Bank vomits on his paper in response. The class erupts in laughter, and Bank hurries to the washroom. In the evening, Lynn visits Bank's home and surprises him by returning the scholarship, claiming that she no longer needs it. Bank inquires about her reasons, and Lynn conceals the fact that she has earned enough money from aiding her friends in cheating. Instead, she concocts a story about her father winning the lottery. Bank happily offers to launder her clothes for free as a token of gratitude and accompanies her home by bus. The episode concludes with Bank expressing his desire to be friends with Lynn. If you found this summary helpful, please subscribe for more content, turn on notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.